pretty ridiculous.
Let me turn
This is totally ridiculous.
Well, here's what's insane though, Reed. Everything you see here fits inside of these two things. Because when we first got, when I had all this, Kelly said, she went to Walmart, she bought these two things. She said, the only way that you can keep video games is what will fit inside of those two things, and we keep it in the garage. So I spent like 3 days meticulously plotting this 3D puzzle that all of this fits inside of those 6
The
drawers.
Dreamcast had a keyboard?
The Dreamcast did have a keyboard, and it's right there.
You know, I heard they were re-releasing the Dreamcast for $99.
Really?
Yes.
Does this capture audio too?
Uh-huh.
Okay, when you're done doing this S thing,
Uh-huh.
I'll go back through, and as it's on the screen, I will tell you what it
Okay,
is.
all right. You know, you could put this on YouTube and link it to an eBay page,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Well,
This
I did
is
it one time
nuts.
before.
You listed
But
all of
see,
it?
I've bought so much more since the last time I did this. It actually took up 2 more rows than when I did it last time.
This is totally insane.
Yeah. Whenever you're done, let me know. We'll start up at the top with the Xbox.
Yeah, okay, let's start.
And I'll turn on some lights over there. Okay, hold on.
This is so nuts. So this is 36?
36 game systems. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
That's the Xbox, the original Xbox. The only games I have for it are Halo and Halo 2, because mainly what I always do is buy the local games to the local systems, because typically, not always the case, but typically the game systems know the capacity of what their system can do, so they design games to reach that limit but
Right.
not exceed it, so they don't look like idiots. So they're like the perfect games to play is what the game systems make. As you go down here, this is the original PlayStation. The way it came out is just a square rectangle. These were the original controllers for it, but once the PS2 came out, everybody loved the shock things, so they came out with a new version that had these little puppies on them. I bought 2 of those, but before these came out, I also had these 2. This is a 4 controller deck, lets you play 4 people at the same time, and then I have memory cards. These are all the games I had, and then these are the greatest hits that were cheaper, so I bought more of those. This is the PS1. It's like a smaller, compact version of the PlayStation, but the cool thing about this is that you can put it in your car as a car adapter, and you can play it on a Sony brand screen and speakers. It was so cool. And this is way before the days of DVD-mounted screens in cars. That is a white controller as opposed to the gray controller for the PlayStation over here. All of the PS1's accessories are light gray. That's why I bought the light white one as opposed to the gray one that I already had. And I also bought...
That was good thinking.
Yes. I also bought a white memory card for it as well. I also have a carrying case for it. This is the original PS2. I'm keeping my PS2 Slim. I do have it, I'm not selling it. Those are all the accessories. This is actually something that let you connect to the internet and play games like, I think it was like Fantasy Star or something like that. I never had it, but I bought the accessory anyway. All the games I have for it, and 2 of the controllers. This is the PSP. This is the handheld device that was made by Sony. A lot of the accessories, just an extra battery, a little case, and games and movies that I bought local to the PSP. Let's go way over here. And I noticed one of my games is out of it. I know. Alright. The original NES. Everybody has had this game or played it, or they're not an American. Or Japanese for that matter. I also bought the big old NES Advantage. That thing let you rapid fire everything, and you could switch back and forth between player 1 and player 2. It plugged into both slots. That's the Max, the NES Max. This is the orange zapper gun that came with the original system.
Clearly the superior gun.
Yes. And typical RF switch, whatever. Those are all the games I have. I have all the Marios, all the Donkey Kongs, the Zeldas, Metroid, Kid Icarus. Basically, if you were raised on them as a kid, it's there. So this was the top loader NES. It was a smaller version that came out after the Super NES, and everybody liked how cool it was to top load, but they didn't want to, I guess if they didn't want to pay for a Super NES, they could buy that for cheaper. It even mirrored the dog bone controller of the Super NES, and it's totally different than the original, but that's totally Nintendo. It had a gray gun as opposed to the orange one, and not too many other accessories. That's why I didn't have This is the Super NES.
Everything's okay.
And I didn't really have. I used to have a gun, like a bazooka, that went on your shoulder, and it broke because my friend broke it. Idiot.
What was the name of that?
I don't remember, but that was the game that came with it. It was the Super Scope 6. It was the name of that gun. The Super Scope 6, and that was the game that came with it. And I still have the game, but the gun broke because he's an idiot. That's the Super Game Boy. It was one of the coolest things I had.
Oh, yeah.
It let you put that in your Super NES, and you could play Game Boy games on your TV. Awesome. And certain games even had like specific color matches to them. That's so awesome. This is, again, just a really small version of the Super NES. This seems like the most obscure system. Everyone, even people who have seen the top loader NES, still have not seen a small Super NES. I don't know. Anyway, behind you there, don't trip on it, is this N64, Nintendo 64. I had more controllers, but I only wanted to put 4 out for eBay. I'm going to sell the rest online. I had 4 gray ones, but I always used the red one as my first player because it made me feel more awesome. I don't know. That little red capped thing there was the jump pack is what they called it. I think it was a jump pack. But anyway, it expanded your system's memory, so you could play games like Turok 2, and certain games required it, like Donkey Kong 64, and some of the other, more obscure ones. But anyway, it made your system faster. Those 2 are game cards, so you could actually save your games onto the thing. This weird-looking thing let you put certain Game Boy games into your controller, and you could like swap your statistics across from like Mario Tennis on Game Boy to Mario Tennis on 64. I never saw the need for it, but
you have it.
That's the rumble pack underneath of that. You stick it in there, and games like Turok would shake the controller whenever a dinosaur ran into you, bitch, or whatever. Those are all my games. Every one of these Nintendo systems, by the way, I have the Zelda Collector's Edition of. That's why if you look around here, you see gold on everything. Super NES never had a gold version of Zelda, so I have that. But every other system, they got smart and capitalized on the fact that some people will buy gold anything like Zelda, including myself.